Good morning, Internet. How y'all doing? Thank you for joining me today as we're going to cover how to fill out your taxes for YouTube as a sole proprietor. I'm going to show you step by step on screen using my real numbers. And when I say real numbers, these are literally my real numbers. My name is Mike the CPA. Thanks so much for joining me today. On Money and Life TV, we teach videos around finances, investing, taxes, and more. I've gotten a lot of requests for this kind of video, and I've waited a while to do it, and I'm really excited to finally put this together. Now, not only will this work for YouTube, but the process is basically the same for any other business, or it's very, very similar if you're a sole proprietor, as we're going to look at how to fill out tax form Schedule C, which is part of the 1040. Now, if your YouTube channel, if it's incorporated, if it's an LLC, if it's a S corporation or a partnership, there are different forms you are probably going to have to fill out depending upon your situation. However, if you're not incorporated, if you're not a partnership or anything like that, then this video is for you. Let's start off by talking about the numbers. And I'm not going to go into detail of how this spreadsheet works. I've actually covered that in a different video. You can click the card in the top right corner of the screen to watch that video and then come back to this one if you would like to. The spreadsheet is free to download, the template. So feel free to download it and use it for yourself. The trickiest part about filing taxes for a business is actually the accounting part of it. It's not so much the tax part of it, if that makes sense. But if you have a tool such as this, which I've providing to you guys for free, then it makes it really, really simple to actually fill out your tax forms. I'm going to show you how. As you can see, for 2019, I've made a total for on YouTube. Now, all of this comes from Google ad revenue. I do not sell any products. I do not have any affiliate promotions or anything like that. I'm strictly focused on just providing content for you guys to watch on YouTube, and I'm more than happy of just getting ad revenue from Google. I'm cool with that. In total, in 2019, I made $13,248 gross.
Dominating!
Yeah, thanks to me.
In 2019. But I also had some expenses that I'm able to offset that income. I had a few small equipment purchases. I bought some office supplies, such as like the green screen behind me on that case of water back there. The internet, I take a small portion of my monthly internet and I'm able to deduct that because I use it for this channel, for this business. Mileage expense, I actually had a few mileage I drove because I had to go to a conference in order to do a product review. And of course, the bulk of my expenses for my channel come from software and licensing expenses. All of this, I have this by month, but all of this totals to, if I come over here now, hopefully, let me zoom in so you guys can see that a little bit better. It's hard to get all these windows on screen just the right way. Okay, so with that, so I $13,248 gross. I had a $1,095 in expenses. And I also had this $560 right here. I also had some business use of home, which we're gonna talk about. Business use of home. There's a couple ways to do it. You can use your actual expenses or you can use the simplified method as a CPA. Now, I've been doing, most of you who watch this channel know I've been a CPA or doing taxes now and accounting for the past 8 years. I have found in most cases, for most people who are running a business out of their home, the simplified method is usually the greater deduction for them. Not in all cases, but most of the time. Which it basically says, okay, what the simplified method says, okay, what's the total area of your home? It says how much of that area is used for business and square footage. So I have this room I'm in is 112 square feet. For every square foot in this room, which is 112 square feet, I get $5 per foot. So I would multiply 112 square feet times $5 using this simplified method, and that gives me an additional deduction of $560. So my net income for YouTube, my net bottom line profit is $11,592.84. This is the amount I will be taxed on, is this amount right here, the net amount. We're not taxed on the gross, you're taxed on the gross minus expenses. Now that I've showed you guys that, let's move on over to the actual tax filing part, and I'll show you how easy this is since we've already done the accounting. The accounting is the hardest part of this, guys. If you just do the records, if you keep them clean, the tax form is so freaking easy. Let me show you. Just real quick, if you guys are looking for proof that these numbers are real, this is my channel analytics page. This is the month of November of 2019. As you can see, I'm still waiting for the last day of revenue to post for November. So I've estimated on our spreadsheet that I was showing you earlier that, which is why I have this on green, I've estimated an additional $40 revenue for the last day of this month, which YouTube has not reflected yet. But those are the numbers we're going to use for this example. But if you're wondering if this is real, it's absolutely real. If I click see more, you're going to see here's the revenue spread from December 1st of 2018 all the way to November 30th of 2019, even though November 30th on that day of revenue actually has not posted. So if you take this number plus the $40 estimate I just added to my spreadsheet, you're basically going to be within $5 or dead on of what my total gross revenue is for the year. Okay, this is the form itself, the Schedule C. This is the 2019 form, which we're going to have out here pretty soon. If you guys could do me a huge favor, if you really want to support the channel and the work I do here, you can do so by dropping a like and leaving a comment below and sharing this video with others. I would greatly appreciate that because all of those things help get this information out to more and more people and helps the YouTube algorithm. So thank you so much. Let's start with the top of the form. Now remember guys, this is just my example. This is just how I do it. But your tax situation may be different. So you really have to think about your situation. Every single person that I've ever done their taxes for always has a unique circumstance. But it's relatively the same, but just know that the way you report your income and expenses may be slightly different depending upon what type of activity you've had going on throughout the year. At the top of the form, name of proprietor. So obviously you would put your full name here, but I'm putting Mike the CPA for this example. You put your social security number right there. And that, I think I'm still Chipper's social security number.
I ought to break a broom handle off in your ass.
And then principal, business, or profession. Then, so when somebody says, oh, I'm a YouTuber, what they're really doing is they're saying I'm an internet publishing and broadcasting. So a YouTuber is actually somebody who's in the industry of internet publishing and broadcasting. This part right here says enter code from instructions on line B. This is the business activity code. And now where do you find that? Where did I get that code? To find the principal activity business code, what you're going to do is you're going to go to the instructions to this form, which I found on the IRS website. They don't have it updated for 2019. This example though, it really doesn't matter because this form has not changed for a very, very long time. At least not from what I can tell since I've been an accountant. Just so you know. Down to the last page here, there's 18 pages, and I think that's where you're gonna find, here we go. This is where I found the code. Regardless of what type of Schedule C you're in, this is where you're gonna find and look up the principal activity business code for your business or for your business as a sole proprietor. There's all sorts of different codes, and it's very important you get that code as accurate as possible. There are a lot of codes, so it can be confusing, but this was the one that I found best defined what I do here on the channel. Now, as we go down the form, more common sense stuff. You're just gonna put your address, which actually would be my home address because I do this out of my home, and obviously city, zip code, all that good stuff. Then it says accounting method. Well, for my YouTube channel, I just do the cash method, which means I report whatever amount of cash I actually receive for the year as income. As I receive cash during the year, that's the amount I report for income, and I deduct whatever expenses I've paid throughout the year. And if I did put expenses on a credit card, which I often do, those are deductible as well because a credit card is treated same as cash. It says, did you materially participate in the business? Absolutely, because I spent about 10 or 15 hours a week doing these videos. It says, if you started or acquired the business in 2019, check here. I did not. I started this in 2017. Did you make any payments in 2019 that would require you to fill out or file forms 1099? I did not. So if I was paying an independent contractor, like an editor or something who was not incorporated or who just worked for themselves as a sole proprietor, I would have a filing requirement as a business owner of this channel to issue them a 1099 and to issue an IRS a copy of that as well. So the IRS knows that person should be reporting that income on their return. But for my channel, it's small. I didn't do any of that, so I have no 1099 filing requirements whatsoever. Google, however, will have a 1099 filing requirement because they need to issue me one for all the ad revenue they sent me from the month of January through December of 2019. And so I would expect to receive a 1099 for $13,249 sometime early next year so I can file my taxes. So if you read the form here, we just enter so my gross receipts were the 13,000, and then my gross profit, because I don't have any of this other stuff, would be 13,249. If I had other income, let's say I had sold products, let's say I had, done some affiliate deals or whatever, then I could put that revenue here if I wanted. But since I did not, let's continue on down the line into the expense section. All right, now let's look at the expense section of the Schedule C. Now you're going to see that the numbers that show up on this form are just going to come over directly from my spreadsheet because the bulk of the work is done in the accounting part, not the actual filling out of the tax forms. They give you a lot of generic descriptions or expense categories you can place your expenses in or categorize your expenses in, but I find for me and what I do, I like to put most of what I do in the other expense section because I can give it a more accurate description, if that makes sense. There's a lot of things on here that don't apply to what I do on this channel. Let's look at the spreadsheet and let's start with supplies. So on supplies here on the form, on line 22, I have $73. So how does this work? If I go to my spreadsheet, you're going to see in total right here, I have office supplies of $73.49. And remember, when you're reporting things for your tax form, you either round up $1 or down $1. Depending upon, if it's above 50 cents, you round up. If it's below 50 cents, you round down. This $73, as you can see, I just transferred that amount to supplies to line 73, or to line 22, I mean. So $73 to line 22. Now, the bulk of my other expenses, I've actually included in other expenses. We have to go to page 2 to see that. And here are all of my other expenses that I've listed. I have internet use for business. I would say just 30%. The rest of it I just use personally. I've on-reimbursed mileage expenses. That 58 cents per mile, that's the standard mileage rate for 2019. That I went to a conference in order to do a product review. So I'm going to include those mileage here. I have software and license fees, which I'm reporting right here. And I have equipment, which I'm reporting right here. In total, now I'm doing this by hand because I don't have, this is not software. This is just a form, a PDF form you can download from the IRS website. But in total, this equals $1,023. And this $1,023 comes back up on page 1, and that amount goes back to line 27A. This is a total other expenses. Before we continue, where did all these numbers come from? It just came from the spreadsheet itself. As you can see here, equipment purchases. If I click on this, I hold down Control, and I keep on left clicking on the ones that were on the other expense category. It's hard to see that, but right here, it sums to $1,022, which is basically what's on the spreadsheet, or what's on the PDF, I mean, that on the Schedule C form. Okay, it's off by $1 in this example, whichever. We're just going to go with what we have on the form and continue on. I'm not worried when I'm filling out my taxes. If I'm off by $1 or $2, it's not a big deal to me. It's just, if it's off, it's off. But of course, I would always want to go back and check my numbers to get it as accurate as possible. Always do that. Always double check your math. Make sure everything adds up correctly. But what you should see is you should see everything in total from your spreadsheet should be on your tax form. It should match. It's very simple, guys. If you do your accounting correctly, all the same numbers and same totals should be on your tax form. And that's how you know you've done it correctly. So you're just transferring data from one thing to another. That's all we're doing here. That's all we're doing. Okay, let's go back to the tax form. Now, I didn't have any of these other expenses. Like I don't depreciate my vehicle, so I'm skipped that in part 4. And I don't sell merchandise. Now, if I was like a huge YouTuber that sold a ton of merchandise, like Logan Paul or I don't know, whoever out there sells a ton of merchandise, you would have cost of goods sold, and you would maybe have an inventory as well, of inventory of products you sell. Then you would be filling out this as well. But for this example, I don't have any inventory, so I'm not going to cover that in this video. But maybe in a future video, if you guys have inventory, I can give you some tips or something on that. But in a different video. So this is just, I'm showing you how I fill out my taxes for YouTube based on the activity that I have within my channel. We're back on the first page of the Schedule C, and now we're gonna wrap this up. Okay, so we knew that we have $13,249 in gross receipts. We had $73 in supply expenses. In total, other expenses, they totaled to be $1,023. If you add up these two, the 73 and the 1,023, that equals $1,096. Now we're going to take the total gross income of $13,249. We're going to subtract our total expenses, which is on line 28, and we're going to have tentative profit or loss, in this case it's a profit, of $12,153. But we're not done yet. Now we have our business use of home we can apply. Since I use my home for business, My total square footage of my home is 1,500 square feet. The part of my home used exclusively for this business is 112 feet. I'm going to multiply that by $5 per foot, and that gives me an additional deduction of $560 and a net profit. This is what I'm going to pay tax on, and I'm also going to have to, when I say pay tax, I'm going to have to pay income tax on this, and I'm going to have to pay self-employment tax, which really sucks, but that's just how this works. So $11,593 is what I'm going to pay taxes on. And does that match my spreadsheet? Did I do my accounting correctly? Did I fill out my tax form correctly? The way I check myself is with my work paper. My spreadsheet, my Schedule C recap spreadsheet, which you guys can download for free, is my work paper for this filing. As you can see, I took my total revenue right here, minus my total expenses. Look at that. My net profit is $11,592, as you guys can see here. So it matches. So that's how I know I've done this correctly and all of my numbers match and I did not miss anything and I didn't over-report anything or under-report anything. The final part of this, how this works, guys, is this $11,593, it now goes on, it transfers to another part of the 1040, which you will, now if you're using software, which I recommend, whether you're using TurboTax, H&R Block software, or some other kind of free software to file your taxes, then you're going to see this number transfer to another schedule. In fact, it's under Schedule 1. This is Schedule 1, and this is under the new forms. This is where it's going to show up. This is still in draft form because the IRS hasn't finalized this yet, but we're just using what we got. See where it says on Part 1, on Schedule 1, Part 1, Line 3, it says business income or loss. It says attach Schedule C. Schedule C, what we were just looking at. So our net profit's going to show up here. What was it? It was $11,593. So that is where that net profit number is going to transfer to this part of the form. And then the rest of it's going to calculate as well if you're using tax software, which I always encourage people to use tax software. There's a lot of computational errors that can occur if you're not careful when you're doing it by hand or if you're just trying to fill it out on a computer screen. That's why I always recommend using software. All right, guys. Well, that is the video, and that's basically how I fill out my taxes for YouTube. Like I said, your situation might be different. You might have different expenses. You might have different revenue sources. So those are things you're going to have to take into consideration, but probably 80%, 90% of it is going to be similar to this. If you are set up as a sole proprietor, because I'm like myself, I'm not incorporated when I'm doing this. I'm just making videos, okay? And this is just a nice little additional revenue source and a real passion for me to basically share my knowledge and experience around finances and investing and taxes with all of you. And that's why I enjoy doing this so much. Hope you guys found that helpful. Leave your questions, comments, and all that stuff below. I'd really appreciate it. I'd be more than happy to answer as many questions as I possibly can. If you liked the video today, make sure you drop a like to let me know you liked it, or if you want to see more content like this, like I said, leave a comment below. As I always look forward to reading everyone's comments. And if you're not already subscribed to our channel, well, welcome to Money and Life TV, where we teach videos around finances, investing, taxes, and more. I try to publish one new video per week. And you can subscribe to the channel by simply clicking that red subscribe button down below. And if you hit that little bell notification icon, it's going to notify you every time I release new content on the channel. I hope you guys found this helpful. I hope you got a lot of value out of it. I don't think there's anything else on YouTube that is like this or that goes into this level of detail. If there is, I haven't seen it. I will see you guys next week. Live life uncaged, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace, guys.